I wanted to watch the Victor Wembanyama game that's going on right now,
Mhm.
but
Is it on like NBA TV or something?
it's on ESPN two. But like, I finding a stream for that is
Yeah.
impossible.
Is he playing against Henderson?
Yeah, that's why it's like a big, like it's probably the top
Yeah.
two prospect. Uh, or do you want to start with Nuggets or start with the Broncos? Which one did you get to watch either?
Yeah, I got to watch both, pretty
Okay,
much all of both.
okay. Let's start with Nuggets then,
Okay.
because there was yesterday. All right, we can start. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza,
My name's Dasher Hire.
and we are gonna have just a shorter episode today. Going to talk about the Nuggets. Their first preseason game was yesterday, seeing Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. back in action for the first time in a while. And then later in the episode, we'll talk about the Broncos, what happened in week 4 going forward with their Thursday night game against the Colts. Talk about all that. But we're going to start with the Nuggets. I did not have any expectations going into the game. It's the first game of preseason. Like, who cares if they win or lose? I was just looking at MPJ and Jamal Murray, and I think I saw what I needed to. So I liked what I saw. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. No, I was really encouraged by what I saw, especially out of the starting lineup. Like towards the end of the first half, or at the end of the first half, after Murray made that buzzer beater. I think it was like a 13-2 run for the starters when they came back in. And that just shows you the kind of firepower this lineup has. It kind of reminded me of last year with all the starters being in the plus and then all the bench players being in the minus. But I'm not worried about the bench whatsoever. They're still, getting their chemistry together with plenty of new players. And you don't really know the backup center position. Is it Zeke Naji, who I hope it is, or is it DeAndre Jordan? Najee had 15 and he made some threes, but Bruce Brown, interesting player to kind of scheme for with his off the ball movement and pick and roll kind of stuff. And the chemistry and confidence for him will pick up soon. So I'm not worried about the bench being outscored by the Thunder right now.
No, I think most of the issues that I saw were just kind of first game things, communication, effort, defense, and not really knowing what to do, boxing out. It's just like they haven't played basketball, or they haven't played together in a while. They haven't played another team in a while. They haven't played organized in a while. It'll just take a couple of weeks for that to start to mesh together. So I'm not really worried about that. The biggest thing was just seeing if Jamal Murray and Mike Porter Jr. looked healthy, if they looked like they were at 100%, which in my opinion they did. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but it looked like they were moving well. I thought Jamal Murray had a little bit of hesitancy in his first stint in the first quarter, but he got in the second quarter. He took a couple of falls. He took a couple of shots. He moved around. I thought he knocked some of the rust off, and then his second stint he looked really good. The corner three I know when he started feeling good when he had the post up, because he's a very good post up player for a guard, and he started using his size, using his strength to bully his way to the basket, and then he hit another three, and then obviously the bank shot at the end. But I thought he looked good. I thought MPJ really looked good. I was just happy to see those guys play. Like I didn't care about anything else. I was only watching for them.
Yeah. And it was great to see Jamal like smile after he made that 3-2. Like he just knows it's been such a long road back. And then he made that like step back three, line drive kind of three, just bang right in his face at the top of the key. That was just like prime Jamal Murray. And yeah, like you said, they look comfortable out there. Like I remember one play, Murray was kind of trying to get a loose ball and he jumped up and tried to tap it and he came down, on his left leg where he tore his ACL. And was fine after that. So it was kind of a scary moment, but like, nothing happened. So that's encouraging. And then Porter took some charges where he fell down and stuff and got right back up. So that was really encouraging news too. So yeah, I'm super excited for the rest of these preseason games as they start getting more and more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one thing to complain about with the starting unit is that KCP didn't hit open shots. Like that's like the only thing that I look at with the starting unit. Because they really seemed to get into a groove in the second quarter, and you really started to see the chemistry start to come back and just started to feel way more natural. They weren't forcing anything.
Mhm.
Everything was just coming with the natural progression of basketball. You know, it was like after the third pass, that's probably when you're going to shoot it. And they were shooting it. They were getting into the paint, driving and kicking. It looked really smooth. KCP had a lot of open looks, and I think he is going to have a really, really good season. I know he missed all of them. Um,
Yeah.
but he had so many open looks. He is a good shooter. Like he
Hmm.
has some on ball capabilities, but he's not going to have to do that. Like he had so many open corner looks, which is what we want him to take. He had a lot of above the break threes, which he's still very good at. Like he's going to have an extremely good year. And the spacing that's
Yeah.
in the starting lineup is unreal. And there's so many different ways you can run different things with them, run different sets, run different plays, different ball handlers. You can have Aaron Gordon initiate it. You can have Jamal initiate it, Jokic
Hmm.
initiate it. Like there's so many different things that you can work in with that versatility. So I'm just super excited. I'm super excited to see how the rest of it works. The bench is
Yeah.
another story. The bench was not confidence inspiring at all.
I know Bones was a little kind of too hyped for the game. I feel like kind of, bobbling the ball a little bit and throwing it away a little bit. So when he settles down, he still has some nice drives to the hoop and some nice passes to DeAndre, who I thought like didn't look bad out there. He had some nice dunks and some nice rebounds and a big block off the backboard. So I don't think Jordan looked too bad, but as the season goes on and his legs start to wear out, I could see him being replaced by
he
Najee
he
at
started
that
off
point.
bad. Like the first
Yeah,
couple of possessions,
yeah.
he like lost the ball or he got blocked on a relatively easy dunk. And
Hmm.
then they were like using him as like the initiator of the offense. Like he was like the central hub and trying to pass, like do cuts. And I'm like, what is going? This is not Jokic. It's not DeMarcus Cousins. Like this is
Hmm.
DeAndre. Like, but I thought in the second half he looked a lot more comfortable. Um, but yeah, Bones. I agree. I think he was just a little too hyped up. He didn't. I don't think he made a single entry pass that was not stolen, which is disappointing to see considering he was one of the only
Yeah,
guys who could make an entry pass last season.
yeah,
Um, that seemed was still an issue with the Nuggets was entry passes and just like stupid turnovers. Uh, once again, first preseason game, so hopefully that all gets ironed out. Um, I thought that Zeke Naji was the best player on the court, honestly, and I thought he looked
yeah.
phenomenal. The extra strength that he added, I think it was 10 or 11 pounds. You could definitely see it, and you could see it.
Right.
You could see how it helped him. He went up strong for a couple of dunks, which is what I've been wanting him to do for so long. Is when he's in
Hmm.
the paint, he would always do pump fake, and then go under the basket with the left-handed layup, and then he would
Yeah.
get it blocked or he just miss it. And he had a couple where he just went straight up and dunked it. And like that's what you have to do to get those rotation minutes. I
Yeah.
really liked what I saw from him.
He was a beast on the offensive glass too.
Yep.
I think had a possession where he got like three offensive rebounds, stuck with it, and then tipped it in. And yeah, his shot is just automatic, really. Like he can pull up in anyone's face. It's almost Michael Porter Jr. esque. And I'm really confident in him making really any shot that he puts up from three. So yeah, I'm really hoping he takes that either four spot from Jeff Green or five from DeAndre Jordan. I guess I prefer taking the five from DeAndre, but yeah, I'm excited. And going back to KCP and Jokic only had 2 points. Like you got to remember, like they were practicing in San Diego too, so they're pretty gassed, I would assume, in
Yeah,
their first game.
the
Which I
altitude.
don't know. Yeah, can kind of maybe explain KCP shooting woes. Plus, he's just with the new team, so obviously nothing to worry about. Um, but yeah, really excited from what the starting lineup looked like. Looked like they had good chemistry for the first game.
Yeah, they look like they played really well in training camp. We haven't really talked about the Nuggets like at all since football season has started.
Yeah.
But the training camp was last week, and just from the reports, it looked like the starting unit, they definitely still had some chemistry things to work out and iron out. But there were a couple of sessions and a couple of scrimmages where they looked extremely dominant. And I think that 6-ish minute run at the end of the second quarter going into halftime is what they looked like in those practices. And I think they still have another level to get to, because that was like Jokic didn't like, he clearly didn't want to be like, he did not care
Right.
about playing in this game. He just obviously just got back from Serbia. He's probably disappointed about Serbia losing in the first round of Eurobasket. Like, he's probably just he's jet lagged, he's getting used to the altitude again. He did not want to be playing in this game. But that's fine. But like, I think that one of the things that they were kind of stressing was Jokic taking a more leadership role. And I think that has to start in, game one of the preseason. You got to at least try a little bit. I thought that, their next game is on Friday, which I don't know why it's such a long break, but I hope that we see the starting lineup again. I know they're not going to play in every preseason game, but I hope we see him again. And I hope you can get to see Jokic be a little more aggressive and start making plays off of his scoring instead of his passing, which is what he was doing before.
Yeah. I wanted to know kind of your thoughts on how they used Bruce Brown. They kind of had him coming off double screens a little bit and becoming the initiator on offense, either letting him have a floater or a pass to DeAndre or whoever was rolling. Like, do you kind of like it better with him like that? Or I know he was being used as the roll man even in Brooklyn. I feel like I kind of want to see him do that. And I want to see him play with Jokic with his cutting ability. But, he also got a few shots from three, which is kind of different as to what he was playing in Brooklyn, where he only put up, about like 1 3 per game. I think he shot like 3 or 4 this game. So I don't know. He's an interesting player for how to, scheme up on offense. And I don't really know what the best way is for him yet.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today as well. I was thinking like, it's hard because I don't know if his shooting is real from last season. Like, he shot 40%, but he was on limited attempts. I don't think it was more than like 1.5 threes a game on average. So I don't know.
And they were
if the
mostly from the corner too.
Yeah, it was primarily from the corner. I do like how he's used as a roll man. Like, I like how he's used as a roll man in Brooklyn. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted him, because I thought that he would fit really well with Jokic. So I do want to see more minutes with Jokic and Bruce Brown. But on the bench, it's odd because I think it was weird. I think the fit between him and Bones is a little odd because both of them are really on-ball players.
Right.
And I think Bruce Brown can be a good off-ball player. It just has to be with the right people. And I think that's where he can excel with Jokic. But if he's not with another playmaker, I think he can be the primary guy, at least in the paint, as a playmaker. So the fit is a little odd on the bench. And I wonder if at some point we'll see him start in place of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope just to see how that fit works. Because I think KCP, what his role is. His role is defense and his role is shooting the ball. And I think Bruce Brown has the ability to do more than just those two things. And I think him in the starting lineup as a secondary playmaker, as a paint playmaker, as a roll man, I think he has more opportunities to do that and kind of use his skill set more. And I think KCP is more of a just plug and play. And I think he works better in either unit. So I think that it'll be interesting to see, but I don't know. Bruce Brown he's an interesting. It's a good problem to have because he's it is like too good for the bench unit.
Exactly.
But, like, I don't know. It's odd. It's an odd fit, but it's a good problem to have, and I think they'll be able to figure it out because it was like this in Brooklyn too. I mean, he didn't really fit anywhere, and they just started playing him at the 5, and they're like, he fits there somehow.
Right. Yeah, and it only be in the first game too. Like he'll find his groove at some point. So yeah, dude, I'm just so excited for this team. Like, I feel like they just have everything that they need. It's a perfect starting lineup, with scorer and Murray, playmaker Jokic, spot up shooter Porter, cutter and dunker Gordon, and then KCP 3-and-D guy. Like, that's everything you need in a starting lineup. And then the bench with a great initiator with Bones and the defense of Bruce Brown. Jeff Green is still solid sometimes, and Zeke Naji too. So I feel like this team is everything. You just need to stay healthy. Hopefully, all this theoretical, kind of perfect meshing comes to fruition.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm really excited. Like I think their top 7 of whatever the starting lineup is, but it's Jamal, KCP, Jokic, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Bones Highland, and Bruce Brown. Whatever combination of those 7,
yeah,
that top 7 I think is as good as any team in the NBA. And I legitimately think that if they can stay healthy and if somebody can step up and become that 8th player, which I hope is Zeke Naji, but whether it's Zeke Naji or Davon Reed or maybe Christian Brown, if he gets minutes, if he somehow can step up, if someone can step up and take that eighth spot, that's a very, very good playoff rotation and one that can compete for an NBA title legitimately if they can play up to the level that we think they can. So I'm really excited. This preseason will tell a lot. I think it will tell a lot towards the end about the bench and who is going to be able to step up. So I'm excited to see how it works. Man, it's just going to be a fun season. Like the last 2 years have been so grueling to watch as a Nuggets fan, especially last season. Like I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I won't take it for granted because last year was so hard to watch. Like, it was just like my expectations for the team. I want them to be championship, and like I want them to, like, oh, if they don't make the conference finals at least, then it's a failure of a year. Like I don't want to think that, even though that's probably what the expectation of the team is. I don't want to think that because of just how awful last season was to watch. Even though technically on paper they were a good team.
Well, another team in an awful situation right now as we transition. I get football is the Broncos with a brutal day in Vegas. First of all, a loss, and then you just get hit with devastating injury news. Javonte Williams out for the year, and then Randy Gregory placed on the IR, missing a minimum of 4 games. You know, Javonte out for the year right as Melvin Gordon is having these fumble issues, and it'll be hard to replace him for sure because there's no doubt about it that he's the best running back on the team and, you know, one of the top running backs in the league. And yeah, it's kind of tough right now looking to the future for the Broncos.
Yeah, it does not look, it's hard to be optimistic about the rest of the season. You could already tell that Denver was suffering from the loss of Tim Patrick. You could tell that they were missing a reliable pass catcher for Russell Wilson. And now with your running back 1 going out, and it sucks even more because it looked like Javonte Williams was starting to just take the reins away completely from Melvin Gordon, because Melvin Gordon's fumble was his first snap of the game, and there was like 3 minutes left in the second quarter when that happened. Like it looked like Javonte Williams was fully taking over running back 1 duties. And this injury really sucks because not only is it an ACL, it's the LCL and a posterior something, or a patellar, something else in his knee also tore. So it's more than just one thing. It's going to be an even longer recovery than it normally would be. You don't even know if he's going to be ready for next season, if he plays next season at all because of it. So it sucks. Like it just really sucks. And then to pile on top of that, Randy Gregory, he's been playing so well, and he's not, you know, out for the season, which that's what I thought was happening. But it was the injury, that the play that Javonte Williams got hurt on, I was like, it doesn't even, like, how, like nothing happened. And then the play that Randy Gregory got injured on, I was like, oh no, like that's an ACL at least, but it was flipped somehow, I guess. But I guess that's a positive point that he's not going to be out for the season. But man, it's tough because this is exactly the thing that Denver could not afford, is injuries to their front 7, because they do not have a lot of depth there. And I don't know how ready Baron Browning is. I don't know how ready Nick Bonito is. He's barely played through 4 games. So that edge position is already getting thin, and that is the one thing that Denver cannot afford.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is with like Jonathan Cooper. Like he showed flashes last year, but I don't know why he hasn't.
I think he was hurt the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but
he didn't even when he was playing over the first couple, like he wasn't doing much.
Right. But I guess he should be able to step up maybe in that role. I don't know. It seems like it'll be Nick Bonito primarily. So yeah, it stinks. That game was just, I mean, there
So
were positive
winnable.
moments in the first half, 16 points. They moved the ball down the field in the first half. Russ started 11 for 12 and had some nice passes to Sutton and that deep one to Judy. And the offense was clicking, and then as you said, with 3 minutes left in the second quarter, tied 10-10. Javante was getting going, and then Melvin Gordon. Oh, look at this, a big hole for 8 yards as they're driving into Raiders territory on a 1st and 10. It'll be like 2nd and 2, and then boom, just the ball just literally squirts out of his hand right into a Raiders player, and the whole game gets flipped upside down as he takes that for a touchdown. And then, luckily Russ came back and scored a touchdown before half to tie it up, but Broncos seemed like they could have pulled away at that point, and
Yeah.
Gordon fumbled the bag again. That's 2 games, that you could look at and say Melvin Gordon lost that game. The Seahawks won, and now this one. So yeah, like you could look at it as if the Broncos could be 4-0 right now, but you could also look at it as the Broncos could have lost the Niners, and the Texans game was tough. So 2-2. A lot of teams are 2-2. You have the opportunity to trend upward, but with all these injuries, it'll be tough for sure.
Yeah. No, it's like Russell Wilson said, a lot of teams at 2-2. There's only a handful at 3-1. So we're in a good spot. The world isn't ending, but that's a very quarterback thing to say, because as a fan perspective, you just think about all the other things that have happened with the injuries. But oh man, the Broncos do have a bit of an easy schedule coming up. The Colts have not played very well lately, and you played them at home. I know it's on a short week, but they're also banged up. But so hopefully you get a win there. But then it's a Monday night at the Chargers, and then you play at home against somebody. They don't have that hard of a schedule coming up, but after the bye week, it gets really, really tough. So hopefully you can get Justin Simmons healthy by the bye week. Hopefully you can get Randy Gregory healthy by the bye week. Hopefully you can just get some semblance of a team together. But
Right.
yeah, and the issues with the Broncos in week 1 are still, they're still here, and that is an issue because it's been 4 full weeks and it's still dumb penalties by the offensive line. You can't pass block in key situations, and the offense just cannot move the ball for 2 to 3 drives in a row. Like, they're shooting themselves in the foot at every single big opportunity. It's not just the Melvin Gordon fumble, which to me was the turning point in the game, because Denver had all the momentum until that happened. But it's dumb turnovers, it's dumb penalties, and it's honestly bad play calling. And Nathaniel Hackett has not really inspired a lot of confidence in Broncos fans with how he's called the games. I thought he did a good job, and then in the third quarter, it was awful. I mean, there were just a lot of passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage, nothing going down the field, like screen passes for no reason. This Raiders secondary was so bad. They were so hurt. They were so banged up, and they didn't try to attack it as much as possible. Like, Russell Wilson had 21, 22 pass attempts. Like, you can't, like, he has to have more than that. Like, that is, it's unacceptable for him to have only that many against a secondary as thin as Vegas was.
Yeah, and it's like Russ was playing well too, and I don't know what happened with all these coming into the season. The press conference was like, "Oh, we're gonna take these shots. We're gonna take all these big shots that fans like," and it's like, where are they? There's so many run plays. It feels like it's a first down run, second down run, and then they do some little screen on third down, and then it's over. It's like, where is the aggressiveness? I mean, you threw it deep twice, I think, in this game, and they both succeeded, one to Hamler and one to Judy. And so I just don't understand really the play calling. The first half was nice, but as you said, the third quarter, that was just dreadful. I mean, big penalties by the O-line. Max Crosby felt like he was getting a sack every single possession.
Yeah.
to put the Broncos back, and nothing to help out that offensive line. Max Crosby was just getting in there freely. And yeah, Russ only 25 passing attempts. They just didn't run a lot of plays in general. The Raiders running game really
Oh my
is what
God.
took the Broncos offense off the field. I mean, it feels like Josh Jacobs destroys the Broncos every
Every
time he
single
plays.
time. He has 30 career touchdowns and 9 of them are against the Broncos. Like that's ridiculous. How is that
Yeah,
possible? It's unreal. The
yeah,
run
yeah.
defense started to show
Dude, I mean,
cracks.
it's
Uh,
yeah.
You finish your thought.
Well, I just don't understand how this looks like the exact same team. Like it's a new owner, it's a new GM, it's a new head coach, it's a new quarterback, and everything looks the same. Like the offense, other than a few other motions, looks the exact same. The defense, while they can make some plays, the run defense is bad and it looks the exact same. Bad clock management, like just stupid things happening here and there, like in the past, whether it's a fumble or whether it's a dumb penalty that sets back a drive. It's like, how is it possible that I'm watching this same team that looks like it's led by Drew Lock, like out there with a whole new regime and whole new quarterback? I just don't understand.
It makes no sense. It makes it like the offense doesn't look any different than what
I
Pat
know.
Shermer's offense was, and I don't understand how that's physically possible.
Yeah.
Like I thought that it looked better this week. I thought Russell Wilson, this is the most comfortable that he's looked in the
Yeah.
offense. They did take more downfield shots than before. Like the pass to Hamler, obviously, I love that was phenomenal to see. The touchdown to Judy was like a seam pass. That was really, really nice. They threw like a wheel route to Judy as well. Um, they had some stuff down the seam to Cortland Sutton as well. Like they had more stuff down the field, which I like. But then in the third quarter, you just go all conservative, which was exactly the issue with Pat Shermer, is that you take the ball out of the best player's hands for no
Yeah.
reason. And I think that's what truly cost the Broncos the game, is that they had opportunities to take the lead and to grab control of the game in the third quarter, and they just didn't. And that's been the issue for the first 3 games, and it stayed in the fourth. And I hope that at some point they can figure it out, but I don't like Hackett and Outen have not exactly shown that they can make those adjustments. I'm confident in the defense being able to make adjustments in the run game because Ivero has shown that I can do this. Hackett and Outen haven't through 4 games, so I don't know what's going to happen in the 5th one.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, and it'll be tough. Short week coming up. 2-2, as you said, still tied with the Chargers. They're not feeling it too good. Rams not feeling too good. So I feel like there's going to be a separation of teams. All these 2-2 teams, like some are going to skyrocket, some are going to plummet. Hopefully the Broncos are ones to go on a little win streak, and just kind of stay afloat, I guess, and hope to make a run towards the end of the season as guys start getting healthy. But yeah, disappointing. Could have gone 3-1 and finally won in Vegas against a struggling Raiders team, but they definitely played desperate.
Yeah.
Because if they go 0-4, the season's over, like really. So they needed this win, and you could tell that they were motivated. Rivalry game, so tough game, but it happens, and it's just tough with these injuries too. It just piles on.
Mm-hmm. I found the next 4 games until Denver's bye week. At home against the Colts, which should be a win, regardless of how injured you are. Colts have not played well through 4 games. And they are also banged up. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor is going to play. Shaq Leonard isn't going to play. Matt Ryan hasn't played well. Like, you should win that game. And then it's at the Chargers on Monday night after that, which that's a toss-up. But then it's Jets and Jaguars after that. So realistically, this team should go 3-1. But if they go 2-2 again, that's going to be a big concern because they should not be 4-4 through their first 8 games. That should not have happened. They should have been like at least 6-2 to their first 8. Because there were so many winnable games. This game was a winnable game. The Seahawks one was very much a winnable game. Like they should be 4-0 right now. Like if the offense didn't just handicap itself and shoot themselves in the foot at every single big moment, they would be 4-0. And literally, if they had just scored one more point against the Seahawks, one of those fumbles didn't happen. Yeah. One of the dumb penalties doesn't happen. One of the blown coverages doesn't happen. You win. And I hope at some point those mistakes just start to get condensed, but we'll see what happens. I'm not very confident in the rest of the season for Denver. I'm not gonna lie.
And Hackett really hasn't given me any confidence there. Yeah, maybe the game management stuff has, you haven't really noticed anything, but there also hasn't been too many big moments with time management. So I don't know. The offense is just seems so predictable right now. Hopefully Melvin Gordon just can fix his mental aspect, because that's all it is right now, is just him mentally trying to not fumble. But yeah, we'll see Thursday night, about 48 hours. Hopefully they come out with the win.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that'll do it, right?
Our picks for next week.
Okay.
I think that's going to be it. I don't think if there's anything else that we really have to talk about. Okay. Week 5. Can you find it this time?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Nice. Week 5. Okay. First game of the week for week 5 is Denver versus Colts. I'm gonna take the Broncos. I'm gonna have some confidence in them that they can win this game. But it'll be interesting to see. But I think they can get it done. I think that they know the urgency.
Hopefully Miners is back. Hopefully Billy Turner is back. I don't know, but Shaquille Leonard is out for them, so hopefully they can run it. Latavius Murray, don't know if he's gonna play.
Oh yeah.
But Melvin Gordon is kind of, I don't know. He needs to get more confidence in himself. But
yeah, I've been a Melvin Gordon defender for his 3 years in Denver. But after this one, like it's you can't excuse it at this point. Like the fumbles are in every single big moment. You just cannot. You can't take that much bad with the good that he provides. It's inexcusable. So if he can fix it, great. But if he continues to fumble after this, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I do not have the games up. I don't have space.
Okay. Next game, 6:30 a.m. This is the one game. Giants Packers. I'm definitely going Packers. You don't know the whole situation with the Giants. Jake Fromm could start this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, Giants are not looking too good right now with all their injuries. Lions at Patriots. Lions have scored so many points, first in the league in points, but also first in the league in points given up. But they're also playing either Hoyer or Zappi, I think. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go Lions and say that they end up winning this game. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown should be back. So yeah.
Yeah, he should be back. DeAndre Swift might also be back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Patriots. I not necessarily with the belief of Bailey Zappi, but just because I think that they've played a few close games and they've gotten the short end of the stick on it. So I think they'll be able to pull it out. But
Chargers at Browns. I'll go Chargers here. They look good against the Texans, but it is the Texans.
They look good for a bit, and then the second half,
the
Chargers or the Texans storm back. I'm also going to go Chargers though, because the Browns didn't look good at any point versus Atlanta.
Texans, Jaguars. I'm going Jags. They got off to a good start against the Eagles, but 5 fumbles by Trevor Lawrence, that is not going to win you anything. But they got, as I said, no weakness on their football team. They're a dangerous team, and I think they're way better than the Texans right now.
Yeah, same. I'm going with the Jags. I'm still riding on the bandwagon for them. I don't think they'll pull it out.
Buccaneers, Falcons. Tom Brady doesn't have to worry about his wife anymore, and he can put all his thought into football. And the Falcons, they're not bad at all. They're 4-0 against the spread, but I think Buccaneers just have too much talent overall. Yeah, I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going Bucks too. I think they got Mike Evans back last game against Kansas City, and he played well. You saw what him and Tom Brady could look like. Their offense finally exploded in this last game. I think if once they start to get healthy, you'll start to see how good this team is. Especially because their defense is so good. I know that Mahomes was just being Mahomes. Like he was back to being himself. Surprisingly, Todd Bowles did not play too deep the entire game like we predicted, and it burned them. So, but yeah, I think Tampa wins.
All right. Steelers, Bills. I think the Bills are like 14-point favorites. Josh Allen looked amazing against the Ravens for especially the second half. I thought you were typing Steelers right there.
I mistyped.
Yeah, Bills look amazing.
Yeah, Bills look really good. Their defense looks really good even without Micah Hyde. Yeah. Plus, it's a rookie's first start. It's really a toss up. So I'll just go with the better overall team.
Yeah,
on that one.
All right, Dolphins, Jets. Zach Wilson actually looked pretty good. I thought against the Steelers, he made some big time throws in clutch situations. Obviously Tua's not playing. Teddy B is starting. I'm going with the Jets here. I'm going with Zach Wilson.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I did like how Zach Wilson looked against Pittsburgh, especially in the fourth quarter. He looked really, really good. However, I do think that the Dolphins just have a better overall team, and I don't think Teddy is a bad quarterback. I think there is a drop off between Tua and Teddy, but with the way that they play, I don't think that you'll see it that much. And I think that Teddy has a stronger arm anyway, so if they do decide to throw it down the field, he's actually going to be able to get it there.
Right. All right. Bears, Vikings. Bears are in a tough spot right now, especially offensively, obviously. Fields just not looking great, but also has a terrible O-line and terrible weapons. I'm going Vikings.
Yeah. Vikings look good, 3-1 for the first time in the Kirk Cousins era. First time Kirk Cousins has ever been 3-1, by the way, which is crazy considering he's in his 10th year.
Yeah.
Vikings, they look like a good team. I think they're good. Their offense is still very, very explosive, which is good to see. Bears, man. I saw this stat and it was ridiculous. Cooper Kupp has more receptions than Justin Fields has completed passes.
It's wild.
That's ridiculous. That's insane.
Titans, Commanders. I'll go. I mean, Derrick Henry looked good last week. I'll go Titans here. Commanders just too inconsistent, I feel like.
It's all on Wentz. If Wentz can have a good game, but it's not all on Wentz. If the offensive line can protect Wentz and give him a chance to have a good game, I think that they'll be good. But the Titans front seven is so good, so I think I have to go Titans.
Seahawks, Saints. Geno Smith looks amazing. The Saints definitely could have won that game, but they did get. I saw like a lot of penalties. Yeah,
they got screwed
going against them. Tyrann Mathieu and Marshawn Lattimore, but I mean, Geno looks good. It's a decent Saints defense. I'm gonna go see. I don't know.
This is tough.
I know.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go Saints because I think
Woolen looks too on the Seahawks.
Who?
Tariq Woolen, that corner.
He looks good. Yeah, he looks really, really good. He looks like a steal. I'm gonna go Saints because I think that their defense is going to be able to hold them. And I also think that they've just gotten a little unlucky in their past few games, and I just think that it'll start to turn a little bit. But
Yeah.
that one's tough. That one could go either way. See, Seattle's not as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, for sure. Niners, Panthers. This is definitely Niners for me.
Oh,
They
geez,
looked really good Sunday night or Monday night against the Rams, and I think they'll just keep getting better. I mean, um, you know, defense is just amazing, and
It's
that
ridiculous.
Hufanga guy.
Oh my god, he came out of
Oh,
nowhere.
yeah,
Came out of absolutely nowhere. And there I saw this stat. Their defense is allowing 3.8 yards per play ran. And for context, like the 2000 Ravens and the 85 Bears, who are probably thought of as the two best defenses of all
Yeah.
time, they were both at like 4.3, 4.5 per play.
wow.
So
Yeah,
they are
they're
at an
amazing.
all-time pace right now. D'Amico Ryans is going to get a head coaching
Mhm.
job for probably Matt Rule when he gets fired. So
Yeah,
they're in a good spot.
yeah. Eagles, Cardinals. I
Hmm.
can't trust the Cardinals. Eagles are just solid everywhere, really. They can
Yeah.
force turnovers. Jalen Hurts looks good. I'm saying Eagles start 5-0.
Yeah, I am too. They haven't had the hardest of schedules, but they're winning the games that they should, which is the sign of a good team. Jalen Hurts didn't have a great game last week, but I think through 4 games he has been very, very good.
Yeah,
He is definitely in the conversation for MVP frontrunner as of right now. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, they're just so good. Both of them are they're just both so ridiculous. Their defense has been incredible. The Cards, I don't know what to think of the Cardinals.
yeah,
They're 2-2, but they might be the worst 2-2 team that out of like the 10 that are 2-2 right now.
yeah. I agree. Just unpredictable, I guess, with their offense still. So, Cowboys, Rams. Cooper Rush is 4-0, and I'm saying he goes 5-0 because the Rams have been really struggling. I think they're just, I don't know, their offensive line is not good at all right
No.
now. Stafford is not playing well. And yeah, I think the Rams are reeling, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely. I think you can really start to feel the loss of Van Jefferson.
Mhm.
They don't have a consistent deep threat, a consistent number 2 receiver, really. I mean, well, they have one. Stafford just doesn't like looking his way. Their offense is so heliocentric on Cooper Kupp that I think it's hindering them a little bit. Stafford's first read is always him. I just think they have to scheme some of the guys into the offense. The run game isn't good. It wasn't good last year either. But I
Right.
think teams are starting to figure out the scheme that they want to play, and it's starting to hinder them. All that being said, I'm going Rams. I think that Cooper Rush has legitimately played well, and it's not like he's just making like easy plays and everyone else. Like he's making good throws, he's making smart decisions. He's not being like a game manager. He's making like big time throws. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Rams. I think once again, kind of like last year, I think they're just too talented to mess up.
Right.
But this one Cowboys could definitely win. I want to ask you this though: if the Cowboys win and if Cooper Rush goes 4-0 in relief, when Dak Prescott is healthy, do you bring him back or do you ride the hot hand?
No, you gotta go Dak Prescott. He's your guy. And I think it's been the defense mostly. Like, and in this game, the Rams who turn the ball over a lot and the Cowboys defense who force a lot of takeaways. I think that could be the deciding factor in this game. But no, I think mostly it's been the defense. CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown have been good. But no, I got to go back to Dak. I think Dak is still clearly a better quarterback. Andy's your guy that you paid a ton of money to.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think that just because they paid him that much money, I don't think they can sit that on the bench.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting situation.
Yeah. Bengals, Ravens, Sunday night football. This will be a fun game. I'm going Bengals. I think they kind of have the Ravens figured out. The Ravens defensive scheme. They play well at their stadium. And I think the Bengals, after winning that game against the Dolphins, could be back right now.
Is this in Cincinnati or in Baltimore?
In Baltimore.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens, but because they have gotten they have. I think Jim Harbaugh is a very good coach. Or is
Mhm.
it Jim or John?
It's John.
John. They've been coaching for like 12
I
years,
know.
and I can still never figure it out. John Harbaugh, I do think is a good coach, and they have their defense has given up two big leads. They gave up a 21-point lead to Miami and a 17-point lead to Buffalo. So they're in a risky spot because they're 2-2 right now, but they could be 4-0 as well. This is
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ravens because I think that the Ravens are gonna win this division, and this
Mhm.
game is probably is gonna be huge in deciding that. And at home they've played well, so I'm gonna go Baltimore, but I
All
don't
right.
feel very good about it.
I like this. We have like a lot of diversity in the picks here.
Yeah.
Um, Raiders, Chiefs. I got to go Chiefs. They were just firing on all cylinders against the Bucks. A lot of cover two beaters that they hit on, and then Mahomes looks amazing. So I think they take advantage of that and they beat the Raiders Monday night.
Yep, I agree. I do think the Raiders played with a lot of desperation against the Broncos, and I think that they played the most complete game. But Chiefs are just the Chiefs, and I don't think Josh McDaniels is a good head coach. I don't think the Raiders are a good team. I don't think they if the Broncos put up 23 points against them, the Chiefs
Mhm.
are gonna put up so many more. Like
Yeah, at least
this-
like 35.
they're gonna put up a lot of points because their secondary is not good at all. Even
Yeah.
when they are healthy, they weren't even healthy against the Broncos, which is what made it
Yeah.
so disappointing that they lost. But even if they get healthy, that team is not. They don't have what it takes to be a good secondary, especially not against Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm. All right. Well, that's it with the predictions.
Yep. I don't know if we're gonna do it one next week, maybe because I'm gonna be back home over the weekend, so I won't have my computer. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. We can probably just do one at the end of or like Wednesday. We can do one Wednesday, I guess. I'll be back Wednesday for fall
Yeah,
break, but
that sounds good.
yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. See y'all next week. Peace.